agent's opinion of price. Now, last year and the year before, I probably talked about this every couple of weeks because it was such an issue that everybody was talking about. It's just starting, everybody's starting to get back into, what you're doing and how you're going along with getting your new listings. And I think lots of people want to talk about that. So this week I've had a couple of rural agents, or agents in regional areas who are listing rural properties. So in terms of the underquoting requirements under the Act and, about substantiation and your comparables and your price ranges and giving an opinion of price, that is all about residential property. In terms of rural property, those requirements aren't there. So that 10% range is not applicable to rural property. However, don't get overexcited, you stock and station agents who are listing properties that are over the 2.5 hectares. You've got to think then about, or even real estate agents who are listing properties between the 2.5 and the 20 hectares. You've got to think about transparency and what is misleading and deceptive, and making sure that you don't go down that path. So when you are giving a price range, and it does happen to be over 10%, now that's okay for a rural property. But what's not okay is if it's misleading and deceptive. So when you're giving that range, if it's 1.2 to 1.5, now you can't do that on a residential, you can on a rural. Just make sure that your good reason or your comparables for that property fall into that range. So there are properties that are similar that are around the 1.2, there are properties that are similar around the 1.5. So, and your good reason for picking those properties as comparable. So it's not good enough, and I've said it time and time again over the years, it's not good enough just to grab some comparables, highlight them off an RP data or a CoreLogic report and go, yep, they're the ones that relate to this property. It's about, a few dot points about why they're comparables. What makes them a comparable to this property other than it's down the street and it sold last week? So some real reasons as to why these are comparables. That's what your purchasers want to know. It's what your vendor wants to know when you're first getting the listing, and it is certainly what fair trading want to know if there are issues down the track where they start looking at your file as in terms of how you came to your opinion of price. So guys, remember, listing rural property is different in a number of different ways, and this is certainly one of them in terms of your substantiation and your opinion of price or your price range, and making sure that you are looking for good reasons for your price range being whatever your price range happens to be.